This is the majesty of the King of Israel, which God knew to raise him up over the house of Israel to discipline it. For he is mighty in all the secrets of righteousness, and unrighteousness will vanish like a shadow and will have no place to stand. For the chosen one has taken his stand in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever, and his might to all generations. In him dwell the spirit of wisdom, insight, instruction, and might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. He will judge the things that are secret, and a lying word none will be able to speak in his presence, for he is the chosen one. Ezra described Rome as a three-headed eagle destined for destruction during the last days, which had now come upon the earth. Yeshua also describes his majesty as that of an eagle that has been usurped by Rome and rising up and ascending to him on wings of eagles to the Lord's high and holy mountain. To Jerusalem, your city to you may return in compassion. May you dwell in it as you promised. May you rebuild it rapidly in our days as an everlasting structure and install within it soon the throne of David. Blessed are you, Lord, who builds Jerusalem. Find favor in your people Israel and their prayer. Restore the service to your most holy house and accept in love and favor the fire offerings of Israel and their prayer. May the service of your people Israel always find favor in you. May it be your will, Lord our God and God of our ancestors, to lead us back in joy to our land and to plant us within our borders. There we will prepare for you our obligatory offerings and additional offering. On Shabbat, we will prepare and offer before you in love in accord with your will's commandments. The soul is the lowest stirring. It supports the body and nourishes it. The body is bound intimately to the soul and the soul to the body. When the soul has been perfected, it becomes a throne on which the spirit may rest. When the soul that's joined to the body is aroused, till the spirit be poured on us from on high. When soul and spirit have perfected themselves, they become worthy to receive the super soul, the oversoul, for the spirit acts as a throne on which the super soul resides, presiding in it. The super soul, superimposition, stands highest of all, hidden and utterly mysterious. So we find there is a throne supporting a throne, and a throne for the highest, which is over all. These are the grades of souls and the secrets of divine wisdom, for it's wise to investigate the hidden mysteries in this way. The lowest stirrings cleave to the body, just as in a candle flame, the dark light at the bottom clings to the wick, from which it can't be separated and without which it could never be kindled. When it has been fully kindled on the wick, it becomes a throne for the white light above, which resides upon that dark light. When both the dark and the white light have been fully kindled, the white light in its turn becomes a throne for a hidden light. For what it is that reposes on that white light can neither be seen nor known. Thus the light is fully formed. And so it is with the man who attains perfection and becomes holy. So we should look at the soul of Torah, not just its body or its garments. God emanated forth a created intellect as an effect, unitary and perfect, and endowed it with the patterns of all things. In the emanation of this effect, not only did he create all things, but he created them in the most perfect manner. This intellect has been called by the Platonists and others God's Son, and by sages recorded. Reveal yourself, my beloved, and spread over me the tabernacle of your peace. Let the earth shine with your glory. Let us be overjoyed and rejoice in you. For the appointed time has come. Be gracious to us as in the times of old. Man was created to find delight in the Lord and bask in the radiance of his presence. The real place for this completion of happiness is in the world to come, created for that purpose, a vestibule before the world to come. This is, in this world, the only place where the commandments can be observed, and it's necessary for saintliness and for the perfect worship of God to realize clearly what constitutes man's duty in the world and what goal is worthy to his endeavors through his days. Man's put here in order to earn what the means at his command, the place that has been prepared for him in the world to come. because of God's grace is why we obey him. Because we are saved through that grace. And it says that we are justified by grace, which is part of his justice. I revealed myself to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as El Shaddai, my name Adonai, I did not make known to them. Exodus 6:3. El, the strong one, El Shaddai, God Almighty, El Olam, God everlasting, El Chai, the living God, El Elyon, God most high, Adonai Zevaot, Lord of hosts, Abir, the strong, Kadosh Yisrael, Holy One of Israel, Malek, the ruler, Susur, Yisroel, Rock of Israel. Prayer is essentially a service for the heart. It's the best health regime for your heart. The Midrash underlines the delicate balance God walks throughout the Tanakh between being a stern judge and a compassionate parent. And pure truth is beyond human sensory perception and cognition. It can't be expressed by mere human language. Many lights shine forth from each word and letter. Sod means mystery or secret. Number 6:5 talks about the Nazarite vow, Gematria, and how the phrase Kadosh Ye, he shall be holy, is interpreted as the reason why a Nazarite vow lasts 30 days. Yod meaning 10, He meaning 5, Yod meaning 10, He 5, equaling 30. The doctrine of an immediate spiritual intuition of truths believed to transcend ordinary understanding, or of a direct, intimate union of the soul with the divinity through contemplation of love. That is mysticism. The complete union of the soul with God is the goal. The Almighty is everywhere. Only by contracting into itself like a man inhaling in order to let someone pass in a narrow corridor could the Godhead create an empty space, the Teheru, empty, which the creation could occur in. He retracted a part of the eternal being into the Godhead itself in order to allow such space to exist, a sort of exile. So creation begins with a divine exile, an infilgratio. After the Zimzum, a stream of divine light flowed from the Godhead into the empty space the Almighty had created, taking the shape of the Sephirot Adam Kadmon, the primal man. And that light flowed from Adam Kadmon out of his eyes, nose, mouth, creating the vessels that were eternal shapes of the Sephirot. But the vessels were too fragile to contain such powerful divine light. The upper 3 vessels were damaged, the lower 7 were shattered and fell. Thus the Teheru became divided into the upper and lower worlds, a product of the Shavira shattering. And evil came into the world through a violent separation between those elements that took part in the act of creation and others that had willfully resisted, contributing to the shattering of the vessels. The element that had fought against the creation were the nascent powers of evil, but because they opposed creation, they lack the power to survive. They need access to the divine light and continue to exist in the world only to the extent that they can gather the holy sparks that fell when the Shavira took place. So every time that a human performs a mitzvah, a commandment, they raise one of the holy sparks out of the hands of the forces of evil and restore it to the upper worlds. Reversely, every time a human sins, a divine spark plunges down. So you see the positive and negative commandments and the need for them because of this reparation, and also the positive and negative blood and all the coding in that. And it's the states of the blood that need to be purified. Because the Holy Spirit can infuse you and purify your blood every 17 seconds. And in the series Travelers, they just put out some episode where the blood was holding information that they were extracting secretly out of the blood to hide from the faction that was trying to kill them. So that's not too far off from the truth. The commandment, tikkun olam, repair the world, is where we are at in this reparations. What was given at Mount Sinai became these people's tasks to restore the world. The responsibility that was placed on the Hebrews is a collective one. And why there's so much disinformation about them, and how the protocols of the elders of Zion was already proved to be a fraud 80 years ago, but that's not talked about either. Now, one man wrote that some of these sparks were so deeply into the hands of evil that no ordinary Hebrew could effect a change in their status. So only the Messiah, the bearer of divine powers, could release them and redeem the world. Judah Halevi said that the pious man is comparable to a prince in that he is obeyed by his senses and his mental as well as his physical faculties, which govern corporeally. Psalm 16:32 says, "He that ruleth the spirit is better than he that taketh a city." Moses Mendelssohn wrote, "Each conception of spiritual beauty is a glimpse of God. God punishes the sinner not according to his own infinity, but according to the sinner's frailty. All commandments of the divine law are addressed to man's will, to his capacity to act." We each have a soul depth to us, and things that were put inside of us created, and God knows the limits and the boundaries of each and every one of us. Emunah, meaning faith, really means trust, confidence, a firm reliance on pledge and promise. So whenever texts refer to external or eternal verities, it doesn't use the term believe, but it should be understand and to know, to make known. To be a Jew is really to be in exile. God's will, this needing, this reparation and creation that's being done right now becomes a working reality. In history, as it takes place, God really does wait for man. And some of the Jews, even Hasidic men, just still follow the customs of Leviticus 20:23 to not follow the customs of the nation or the traditions of men. Edom is not whites, it's all colors. All these churches that are separating themselves with color and flesh will be judged because of that, because all they all need to see is red, because Yeshua bled for all colors, all nations, everybody. Two sticks becoming one talks about the grafting in. There's no difference. Romans 11:17-21, Hosea 2:23. From Gentile to Hebrew. His spirit is immortal. He's an active co-worker with God. Man himself is a child of God. He's endowed with moral freedom and is charged with the responsibility of overcoming evil and striving after ideal ends. The Torah enshrines Israel's ever-growing consciousness of God and of the moral law, and seeks to mold it in the patterns of goodness and holiness, being a binding force, a depository of permanent spiritual ideals, and a dynamic source of the life. Each age has the obligation to adopt and adapt the teachings of the Torah to its basic needs in consonance with the genius of Judaism. And what Israel should be doing, and what we should be praying for with the new leaders being replaced and all the shifting of powers, is that Israel would have a just leader and organization, and that organization would urge organized international action for disarmament, collective security, and world peace, and the ethics in religion and social justice. They shall not hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Now, in the diasporic efforts, to be wanted by the King of Heaven is really the fulfillment of our purpose here. God said, "I have separated you from the nations to be mine." Among all the sons of Adam and Noah is one human population I call a treasure, Segulah. I have placed on eagle's wings that they may be brought to me. I am a God of all peoples. All peoples are equal in my heart, but there is one at the foot of this rock to which I say that it shall be, if it obeys my voice, a people precious among all others. A treasure, that is the people of Israel. All the earth is mine, all the people of the earth. I am the God of love of all the sons of Adam, and thus all the sons of Noah, equally beloved sons. It is because this people is receptive that they are precious, because they're open to the word that they are treasured. It's because they listened. It's because you're unconditionally receptive to my voice that I deem you a treasured people, to Edom, to Ishmael, and to all peoples of the face of the earth. Deuteronomy 14:2. So strive for Olam Ha'emet, the world of truth, not just what's in this world, Olam Hazeh. Now, in the tale of Jonah, it's a tale of portentous action, which the moral of the whole story, really, and these future Nineve's and battles we're coming up against, is search for the answer, or I will consume you, says the God who is a consuming fire.